Well, hello, folks. It's Dave here in Studio B. Long weekend, and it's still not over yet for me. I got to go back to the rink one more time to do one more game. But I'm going to sneak in a video here today, hopefully. To do one more game. Yeah, I just wanted to check the sound. Sorry about that. It's the only way I can do it to make sure I don't have the alien voice. You guys have heard the alien voice. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is show off some Action PC Hockey manual entry mode. I've been really kind of working with this within my little bit of free time over the weekend, and I got some things I want to show you. Okay, now why you would use this for me is when I'm playing tabletop hockey games, you can keep stats like on a notepad. Or a notebook, or go into Excel, which I always screwed up for some reason. I get 4 or 5 games in, and then I change somebody's stats, and I forget if I put it in, so I can't do the Excel. I'm just not good at it. And then, Mike Ignatoski has his blue, I think it was Blue Links hockey spreadsheet, which is fantastic. The only thing is you just can't simulate other games. So this is where something like Action PC Hockey comes in, where you can simulate games in Action PC Hockey. So the idea behind this being able to add your own stats to this Action PC Hockey game would be to do what I like to do, and what a lot of us like to do. We like to play a game in a season, and then have the season, continue on while we're playing a game. Kind of like picture like a community project. I play one game in a community project. Everyone else is playing the other ones, but I'm still a part of it, and that's what I like to do. And I did that a lot with baseball with Digital Diamond, is I could pick any game I wanted to play. I play it on my table and I put in the stats, and then the season continues along with the computer. So that's the idea behind Action PC Hockey here, and why I'm going with that. And I'm trying to make this work. So let me show you what I found, because it's not quite as cut and dry as you might think, but it's not impossible either. As David comes by from Montana, good to see you, David. All right, now I don't have any other choice but to kind of do the screen of infinite walls here while I show you this. So I'm going to do this, and then we're going to come out of here. So now I'm in the Action PC screen. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have learned since playing around with this. All right, so this is 6970, I believe, and let's just go and play a game. Okay, so we're going to hit play, and we're going to pick this game here. We're going to pick I'm going to go human, Toronto, Detroit. Okay, the first thing you need to do, and this is probably the most tedious thing, is you need to make sure that everybody that's in your game is here within the lines. Okay, so if Dave Keon did not play in this game, you got to take him out and either leave that, put someone else in as a double shift, or bring in someone that did play. So let's just say this Doug Acombe guy played and Keon didn't. Then you would click him and put him in here for Keon. Okay, and then what I do is I just whatever after I set up my forward lines, I just mimic them down here with the power play. That way, you're pretty sure that anybody that's on your table is going to be in this game, and that's kind of the first key. And the same with defense. Come over here, make sure that all your defense are in the game, and then just copy them here on the power play, and that way you know that everybody on your table is in this game for Toronto. Obviously, you need to check the goalie. So if it was going to be Marv Edwards instead of Gamble, you need to change that. So let's just say that we've already done our lines for Toronto, and then we've already done the same over here for Detroit. Okay, so all our lines are ready. Whoever played is in the game. Whoever didn't play is not in the game. And so Edwards is our goalie, and here we go. And so now we're going to start the game. So the easiest thing, okay, I need to get the ME going. Set up. No, it's is it rules? Rules, ME. Yes, that's what we want. We want ME, and I think we can do the full play-by-play. Oh, let's just do play results. See what that does. Okay, so we want to go over here to ME on. That's how you turn it on. ME on. Okay. So let's just say you want the stats. Okay, let's just say this was a 2-0 Toronto win. Okay, and let's see. I'm going to try to put on my chat over here so I can answer any questions if you guys have them while I'm going through this. But I want to show you a few things. Okay, so this is one of the things right here. All right, so we're going to go right here to this edit. Okay, edit game stats. So we're going to say this is a 2-0 Toronto win. So I'm going to click over here, and let's just say that it was Wayne Carlton had both goals. So I'm going to click Wayne Carlton, 2 goals. Okay. And let's just say for Tim Horton had 1 assist, and Brian Spencer had 1 assist, and Norm Ullman had 1 assist. Okay, so that's our stats. Okay, so now we want to go to the goaltender, and we said it was Gamble. So we go to Gamble, and he didn't allow any goals, and let's just say he made 10 saves, just to make this quicker. Okay, or 11 saves. So now let's go to Detroit. They didn't get any goals, but let's just say that Carl Brewer picked up 6 penalty minutes. Okay, and now over here, let's go to our goaltender Edwards. All right. Now he allowed 2 goals, and let's just say he made 9 saves or 10 saves, just for this whatever. So now we put in the stats. Okay, so we have put in the stats for the game again in our fake game that was very low scoring and only had a couple of penalties. So everybody that got points, everybody that got penalties, and the goalies are in. What you need to do is you need to change this to third period 0-0-0 or 0-0 and save. And it's going to ask, do you want to, okay, player listed in the box without penalty time. Well, that's weird. Players listed in the box, but without penalty time remaining. You're going to end the game. So it should just come to end the game. I don't know why I did that. We're going to end the game. Okay. So we ended the game. Now, check out what happens here. So if I click on this, the game is over. See how there's nothing here. Okay, there's no scoring, there's no penalties, the only thing is that it's a 2-0 game at the top. So when you put in the actual game, it's going to save it here. Okay, so Toronto got the win and Detroit got the loss. But again, there's no there's no box score, there's no anything. Now, if you look over here, there's nothing over here for leaders, right? So we go to the leaders, no games played. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. Okay, so let's go back here, and we're going to reset the season to 0. We're going to begin the reset. Okay, we're going to reset it. Let's go back, and I'm going to show you why that happened. Again, this is all me, trial and error, kind of saving you time. So we're going to skip all the lines. We've done all the lines, right? That's all good. That's all good. Let's assume that this is all set, that what we need, and we're going to start the game. All right, and we have the manual entry on, and let's do this again. So we're going to come over here, and I forget who had the goal. So Wayne Carlton had 2 goals, right? Now the key is right here. You need to put in 1 minute of time on the ice. You can put in as much as you want. If you don't put in that minute, there's no stats for that guy. That is the key that I found, is putting in that 1 minute. So we come over here, and so Jim Dory got an assist, 1 minute. And down over here, Dave Keon had assist, 1 minute. And let's go to the penalties now. So we have Norm Ullman. He got 4 minutes in penalties. You got to give him a minute. Come down to Gamble, the goalie. Okay, you got to give him a minute or nothing counts. Put in his goals allowed, which is 0. Again, he makes the 10 saves. Okay, now let's go to Detroit. Detroit didn't get any goals. Kyle Brewer, though, again, we said he picked up 6 penalty minutes. You got to give him a minute. Someone else, let's just say Alex Delvecchio got a couple of penalty minutes. You got to give him a minute. And now let's go to the goalie, Roy Edwards. He gave up 2 goals. And let's just say he made, what did we say, about 8 or 9 saves. You got to give him a minute. So anybody you give a stat to has to get at least 1 minute of time on the ice for them to register. Okay. So let's come over to here. We'll put third period 0-0 on the clock. That should end the game. Should end the game. When you come over to here, this guy here should end the game. And yes, okay, good. So we're going to end the game. And it was a 2-0 win for the Maple Leafs. Again, we're going to have nothing on the box score here. All righty. But we do have this now because we put in 1 minute of time on the ice. And if we show our, let me see, Toronto, it still doesn't have the goalies, which is weird. But they will show up. Again, this is kind of working around everything. This is not a straightforward whatever. So here's Toronto with a win. and Detroit with a loss. And now you see we have leaders because we put in the 1 minute of gameplay. Okay, with the 1 minute of gameplay is the key here to making this work. Now, as you can see, if I click on Toronto and I go to my stats, where are my stats here? Stats and rating. Okay, so we'll sort by points. You can see that I only have 2 guys credit or 3 guys credit with a game play because I checked the 1 minute only on 3 guys. So if you want game played, then you need to check everybody in the game and give them a minute on the manual entry. So that's the quickest way to do stats, is to put them in like that and make sure that everybody, you just put in their stats and give them 1 minute of gameplay, and they should be all right. Now, if you notice over here, the goalie, this is the other thing I talked to Dave about. I says, we need to fix this, or how do I do it? So Gamble over here, he got the win, right? He got the shutout, but there's no win. There is no win here. So what Dave said to do is click on him, and I think you modify the player, and there was a way to give him a win. Offense, defense, goalie. Where did I find that? Hang on a sec. Let me get out of here. How did we fix this with the stats? There was a way of fixing this. Game log. There is a way to do it. Of course, now I forgot how to find it now, but you would have to go in here manually and change it. See, he got the, doesn't say the win though. So click on Gamble, active, inactive, modify player. Oh boy, I don't remember how I did this now. There was a way to put in a win for him. Oh, replay stats. How about that? Nope, there is a way. Of course, I can't find it now because I'm live. But there is a way to go and change that. Exit without saving. Yeah, it's kind of bugging me now because I wanna put that win in. Stats, game logs, replay. Yeah, I'm not seeing any wins here. Oh, here it is, right here. But I can't change it. There is a way to change it manually, which is kind of a pain in the neck, as you can see, because I don't remember how to do it. But so that's the one way here. If you want to put in stats quickly, that's the way to do it. The other way, if you want to go full gameplay, let me show you that. All right, so we're going to go to this game here on the 12th, and it's going to be, let's do Boston and New York. All right. So again, put in your roster. We're not going to go through all that. I already did that. So make sure everybody on here is on your table. Make sure you got the right goalie. Same with Boston. Make sure that everybody on your table's over here, because this is going to be your lineup for the day. Your starting lineup will be these guys here. Make sure you get the right goalie. So now we're going to play this one. Now we're going to play this one out. So this we're going to say this right here. And AP says, what would happen if you enter the stats for a game and then exit out of the program and go back in? Will it show the stats and the leaders? I think you have to finish the game. Otherwise, you need to go in and resume the game or replay the game. So you can resume a game, but once the game ends, I think that's that. All right, so let's just say I'm playing Apple hockey. Okay, so now down here, you see how I got my time at 30 seconds? That's kind of an Apple hockey time card there. The problem is, though, if you're going to see right here, so Toronto wins the faceoff, which is it's New York, Boston. So let's get out of here. Let's do this right. All right. Let's go to this one right here instead. We'll go to Chicago, St. Louis. I'm kind of pushing this game here, and so I'm probably screwing it up. All right, so let's get right to the game. All right, so there we go, Chicago, St. Louis. So Chicago wins the faceoff. Look what happens. I win the faceoff, but it takes 30 seconds off. So if I'm playing Apple hockey, the faceoff doesn't take any time. What I need to do is look at what happens on the next play. So if the faceoff goes to somebody, they do something, and then that's when the 30 seconds come off. So what I do, so let me just say that the puck is iced by Brett Hull. and we'll just let 30 seconds go off the clock. Okay. So only 30 seconds should have come off the clock at this point. What's really great about this way of doing it here is you can change this time pretty much to anything you want to. So I'm going to put 1 second. Okay. St. Louis is going to win the face-off. Now I take 1 second off. All right. So St. Louis has the puck. So now whatever my result's going to be is I'm going to put 29, because you do have to have at least 1 second come off the clock, or it's going to default to the 30 seconds or whatever you put it in there. Okay. So that's what I do on face-offs. I put in 1 second, and then the next card I flip, it's going to be 1 second less to keep it in check. Hockey Bones is 24. If you're playing another game at Strat, might be 40 seconds or something like that. But for this demonstration, it's going to be 30 seconds for Apple Hockey. So I put 1 second on the clock. St. Louis has the puck. So let's just say that Goyette takes a shot, and it's a save. So Goyette shoots, it's a save, and the rebound's going to go to Chicago. So that'll be my 29 seconds. So that way I get my save, and Chicago's going to get the puck. Again, I'm playing Apple Hockey right now. So I'm rolling my dice, and I'm getting the results, and I'm just telling you what my results are. So Makita has the puck. All right, so Makita is going to pass it to Brett Hull. Now, here's the thing. There's no way to pass it. So what I need to do is continue on my tabletop, realizing that 2 time sequences are going to pass. The first one is to pass the Hull, and then whatever Hull does. So Hull gets it. He's going to take a shot. So Brett Hull's going to take a shot. It's going to be a save, and it's going to be a face-off. But now I've done 2 cards, right? I had the one Makita to Hull for the pass and Hull for the shot. So I changed this to 60 seconds. Right, so Hull takes the shot to face off, 60 seconds. You can say what you wanted to put the shot from. I don't really care about that. And go. And so now the 2 cards are gone, and we have a face-off. So now we can change the lines. That's the great thing about Action PC. You can just kind of click on the lines and change it if you want. You kind of don't have to, because you're really only using that as a guide, but you can get rid of that fatigue thing. So what we're going to do now is we got a face-off. And again, put the 1 second on here. That way you don't lose time. And Chicago will win the face-off. Okay, so we're going to say go. So Chicago gets the face-off. And so now we're going to roll to see what Chicago does. Okay, so now we got a penalty. Let's just say we got a penalty. So you click on penalty. Now it brings up everybody on the ice. Okay. Well, what happens? Oh, boy, I forgot to move something over here. So let's change. Let's see who's on the ice now. So we're going to go over here. Let's just say it's on St. Louis. So St. Louis, we're going to put line 3 out here. And now if we go to penalty, you get line 3. So let's just say it's on Ecclestone. So he'll get a minor penalty. And this will be 29 seconds because we've already used 1 second, if you follow that. So again, I'm trying to work around the 30 seconds per card for Apple Hockey here. So we go. All right, so now we have a power play here. And it's going to be Chicago on the man advantage. And again, so right now, as you can see, it's going along pretty well. There's a couple things I needed to do to make it work for if I'm playing Apple Hockey here on the table. So let's just say that we get a power play goal, but not right away. All righty. So Chicago wins the faceoff. So let's just say we'll give them the 1 second. So they'll win the faceoff. Now they're on the power play. All righty. So let's just say that they lose the puck. So the puck is lost by Nesterenko. We'll put our 29 seconds on. So he loses the puck. So St. Louis has the puck now. Ecclestone will lose the puck, but he will take 30 seconds off the clock. So Chicago gets it back. And now they're going to score the goal. So we're going to say, we're going to do something really crazy, and we're going to give the goal to Magnuson. So Magnuson's going to score, and we're going to give Dennis Hull the assist, and it's from the outside. That doesn't matter, but whatever. And the 30 seconds will stay. Now, if you want to get into the exacto, let's just say, so there's 16 minutes on the clock, so 4 minutes are gone. Let's just say that this goal was scored with 4 minutes and 16 seconds gone in the period. If you wanted to get kind of crazy, you could do that. You could put take off the 16 seconds, right? And so now that goal will be scored at that exact time. at 15:44 left on the clock. So that's a little workaround too. So now you just have to remember to add your 14 seconds. Okay. So we'll get the line one back out here for St. Louis, and for Chicago, we'll just put line one back out here again just to get things going. And so now remember, we got to add 14 seconds here. So we're going to say St. Louis wins the faceoff. We'll add 1 to 14. They gave us 15 seconds, and now we're all caught up on our time. So that's a way that you can do a tabletop entry mode here, and it goes pretty well. It just takes a little bit of time because you're putting in the things here, and you're still kind of trying to work it around, to make it happen. Now, here's the other thing. All right, so I'm going to exit out of here. So that's the step by step while you're playing it way. And I did that the other night, and it worked pretty well. It did, because again, if you go to your box score, you see you get the perfect box score. All your times are in. Everything's right here. So compared to what we had before, where the box score was kind of all jumbled up and really didn't make any sense, you're actually playing Action PC here, but you're putting in the results. So this does kind of work. So that is the second way of doing it. And here's the final way of doing it. All right. So let's just play this Montreal Los Angeles game. Okay. And let's just say this game is already done. And okay, so we put in our lines. We're just going to say okay with the lines and okay with the lines. Now, this is where this gets a little silly doing it this way, but it will work. Because again, if you just put in the stats, you don't get the box score and nothing really works. If you do it this way, though, this is kind of a workaround. So let's just say Montreal scored, and they scored. So we got to give them the face-off win. So let's give them the face-off and take off a second, okay, like we normally do. All right, so let's just say that Mahavlich scored 4 minutes into this period, or 4 minutes and whatever, 15 seconds. So I need to put line 3 out here so I can give a goal to Mahavlich, okay? And the assists will go to Rousseau and Lapierre. Those are my assists. Now, how do I get this to go from 1959 down to what would be if I said 4 minutes and say 15 seconds, so that would be 15:45, right? So I need to take off a whole bunch of seconds here. So I need to look at my chart here. So 2:40 is 4 minutes, and so I'm going to say about 254 seconds come off the clock, right? And now, so they score the goal at 15:45. I think my math was a little bit off on that one. I think it should have been more than that. But you can take as much time off over here, probably to 999, I would think, All right, so let's just change the fatigue here just so we don't have to watch that thing. We'll just kind of go like this. But that's a workaround. So let's just say now we got a penalty here in LA. All right, so they'll win the face-off. Let's take 1 second off the clock. And let's just say they got a penalty at 13:44. Okay, so it's going to be a penalty, and who's it going to be on? Well, let's just say it's going to be on Hughes. And again, if you had to come back over here and put out the guy that's on the ice, so let's just say it was Hextall. So it's going to be a penalty. Now it's on Hextall. He's going to get a minor penalty. And so again, if we said that penalty come at 13:44, we'd take off 2 minutes, 120 seconds, and that's going to put the penalty at 13:44, just like that. So that's a workaround. The other thing I noticed, if you try to skip around, if you go to here to the edit, you can skip around with a clock, but the man has to stay in the box. Okay, he has to stay in the box for a certain amount of the clock time here, not the clock time here. So I tried to do that a few times by manipulating the clock, and it didn't work. And see, now I had something screwed up here. All right, so that was not a good idea. So again, it's still having issues, as you can see. Oh, and you know what I did? I messed that up. So I got to go back to 15. That's what I did. Is I hit save. I screwed it up, Dave. I screwed it up. So in the first period, and I think that penalty was at like say 15. Oh, I said it was like 12 seconds. I'm screwing this all up. I hit the wrong button. So let's go back here. All right, so Hextall's still in the box. When did he go in the box? 6:16. So that would be 13:44. Okay, so we're good. We're good. So he's still in the box. So let's just say they kill the penalty and Montreal's next goal. So let's just kill the penalty. So face off a win to LA. And yeah, okay, lines. Let's go here. And at Montreal, line. Okay, now let's say Montreal gets the puck. Again, this is still all workarounds here, and I'm still learning it, but this is what I've learned so far, All right, so we need to kill the penalties. That's the first thing we need to do is make sure that this penalty actually ends. Okay, so let's just say that we just give it an icing. Let's kill some time. Okay, Rashad's going to ice it, and let's just take off 2 minutes off the clock. All right, so now the penalty's up because that's the key. You want to make sure that guy's out of the box. Let's say Montreal scores again, and they score with 8:01 to go. So Montreal wins the faceoff. Oh, fatigue. Look, we got to change the lines here. How about that? Any better? And again, this is just kind of solving that. All right, so Montreal wins the faceoff because you got to give them the puck. Take a second off the clock. And the great thing about this is you can put in as much time as you want over here to off the clock. So again, so they're going to score. Let's just say they score at 6:01, right? So that's going to be 2 minutes and 57 seconds. So 2 minutes is 120. And so it's going to be 197, right? If my math is correct. And again, you got to do some math here. So they're going to score. Lemaire's going to get the goal from Cormier. All right. So that put in 197 seconds, and that should bring us down to that. Okay, my math is wrong again. So I'm just doing math on the fly, and I'm doing it tremendously wrong here. But that's how you would get the clock to move. But now you see your box score. You have a box score. You're building a box score. And so now the only thing you would need to do at this point here, so Montreal, it's 2-0. Let's just say this was the final. The last thing you need to do is come over here and make sure everybody that's in the game has a minute. And we talked about that because right now, the only people with any time are the people that were on the ice when I was creating my box score. So if you want to make sure that some of these guys are in the game, you got to give them a minute. Okay, that's the big thing. Some of them do. But again, if you want this to be accurate, that's what you got to do. So let's just end the game. All right, we're just going to go to the end. So we put in all our stats. We didn't know whatever, and we'll save the game. Let's end the game. Okay, so now we continue. Game over. And we do have some stats here. All right, we do have some stats. So we got the scoring. Montreal wins the game. We did have the one penalty we put in. We do have some goalie stats. Again, I don't have any saves for him. That's something that I'd have to put in manually. But so anyway, this is kind of what I figured out here. So if I leave here, now we have some stats from the games I played. All right, so we go to if we click on Montreal here, these are the only guys I put in numbers for, right? So the time on the ice is here. If I wanted these guys to have time on ice, I'd have to put that 1 minute. And if I go to LA, you'll see that that's what I did for Los Angeles. Is that time on the ice? You see how this guy here, I gave him a minute. He's going to show up with a game played. All you need to do is give him 1 minute to get a game played. So it really all depends on what you're looking for, okay? So it's still a work in progress, and I probably made it look way more difficult than it was. But there's 3 ways of putting in the stats. You could just go right to that manual entry mode, put in what you want. Make sure you give everybody that 1 minute of gameplay, though, even the goalies. You got to do that. Otherwise, they won't get credit for the game. And then you got to find the workaround to give the goalie a W. I don't know why I couldn't find that. I did find it the other day where I could change his stats. I couldn't find it today, just what it was. Or you can go the play-by-play if you were playing on a table and just kind of do it like that. Just take the time off the clock. But that's the key is using that box in the corner with the time on it. That's the key is taking the time off the clock to keep the game moving. And the other thing, the final way was you have the box score. You know what happens. So you know at what time of the period everything happens. And then that's what you would enter into the game. So you'd say, okay, these are the guys on the ice. This is how much time comes off the clock to get me where I need to put in a goal or a penalty, whatever it is. and just kind of work that box score in like you were playing it on the table, but you're skipping ahead is what it would be. So it does work. It's a little clunky, and Robert says glad I did this here. Yeah, I'm trying to show it out again. I spent a lot of time with this, and I'm still figuring it out. But the key is putting that 1 minute in. And JC says, is this easy enough to be worth the work? It depends what you want. Okay. What I like to do is I like to play a game during a season and then have the other games simmed along. So I feel like I'm playing along in the season, and I can play the games I want to play. And again, if it depends what you want. If you want to continue on and have, every single face off and every single shot accounted for and playing in a long play way, you can do that in here. Again, I showed you how to do that. Just take the second off for the face off, and then on the play, subtract how many seconds you need to subtract. You can play it, and you get every stat. It's just a matter of keeping the players on the ice that need to be on the ice. If you want to put in a box score, you can build a box score by putting the players on the ice and then using that box again to subtract how many seconds you need to get to where you need to go. If you need to take a minute and 20 off the clock to get to where you need to go, then you put in, was it 80 seconds? I think that would be a minute 20, it'd be 80 seconds. So now when that play happens, that clock will get to right where you need to be to build that box score if you've already played the game. And and again, there's three ways. It's just putting in the quick stats, recreating the box score, or actually playing the game on your table and putting it. So there's three different ways you can do it. Again, I just wanted to show some of the things that I found is putting that minute in for everybody will get them the game played if that's what you want. And again, it's whatever you want for stats. If you don't care about penalties, you just want goals and assists, then you just put that in and put in the quick recap and you're done. But if you like me, I like to have the full box score in there. And I'm not too worried about time on ice. That's the thing I really don't care about, but you need to give everybody 1 minute. So for me, I was trying to put in some box scores there, but again, for what I do is I was putting in the elapsed time and what you. I was trying to figure that out in my head, and I was getting it all wrong with the seconds. But if you can get down the seconds to a point, if you need to get to 15:43 on the clock for that goal to happen, you can do the math, put that number of seconds in that box, and then create your play, hit it, and it'll take all that time down to the box. Now, the only thing it'll do is it'll give all those guys all that time on the ice, so the time on the ice is going to be messed up. So the only way to really, really do it correctly is just to play it along while you're playing. That's the best way. That way, everything will be accurate. Everything's accurate because you can change who's on the ice doing what. To me, that was a little tedious. I like just to play the game. To me, it'd be faster to play the game than put in the box score. That's all. And no, there's not an undo button. Unfortunately, I wish there was because like Digital Diamond, sometimes I put in the wrong thing. I'm like, so no, I don't think there's an undo button, which is too bad. I'm gonna ask them about that too. But again, if you take your time with it and you think it through, I think it might work. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it and see how it goes. Again, it's not really designed to do this. I mean, I guess it is because it's manual entry, so it's supposed to take the manual stats and make it happen. But again, we're working around it. And so if you don't want to play it live, there are some ways that you can just put in the final stats and get it to go. But anyway, it's interesting. And it's a lot better than it was because when I first sat down with it, I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't figure out anything. It's like, oh, this kind of stinks. But now working with that box and subtracting the amount of time that you need in that box to get where you need to go, that is really kind of a game changer there. And again, if you're playing it live, the 30 seconds for app or whatever it is, that comes off and that works out well. So you can play a full game in here while you're on the table, and it does work. So anyway, I just wanted to show that before I head off to the rink today. I got one more game. I did 3 yesterday. I'm so tired. But I couldn't. I come home last night and I played around with this some more. So hopefully that helps out. And if you find something that I didn't find, let me know. Okay, but just be real careful with putting in the stuff because I don't think there's an undo button. I don't think there is. So once you hit that save, yeah, you're saved. So anyway, so that's my workarounds for putting the stats into Action PC Hockey. I think it does work. It's a little wonky, But if you can kind of get in the groove of it, I think it'll work. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to play some games of shootout, and then I'm going to put in the stats and see how it goes. That's what I think I'm going to try. So, and the other thing too is making sure that you get the right players in the game. Especially if you like I say, if you're just keeping goals, assists, and penalties, they have to be in the game to get the stats. Because if they're not, then you can't give them any stats. Now the other guys, if there's someone that played in the game that didn't play in the game, I like to play as played. I may or may not take the time to get everything exact if I'm playing on a tabletop. But I guess as long as I get the goals, assists, and penalties, I guess that would be fine by me. I really don't need to get too crazy with anything else. But I do need to find a way, though, in the quick entry to get the goalies to win. Dave told me how to do it, and I forget it now. I really forget it. So, and Robert said he might try it now with shootout sets. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a couple games of shootout and put it in. I might, I might even play the 69-70 season. But again, you can reset the season at any time. So if you screw up the first couple games, you can reset the whole thing and go back. I don't know if you can reset a whole game though. That's the thing, is I don't know how to do that. There's probably a way to fix an entire game. I'm not 100% sure though. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to pull out some shootout, and I'm going to play a quick game and see if I can put in the stats and that there. So anyway, let me know how it works. So if you guys try this, let me know how it works. Let me know if you find anything different than me. Again, I didn't write the program. It's not my game. It's not my program. I'm just kind of playing around with it and trying to save you some time by making sure you click on the minute for everybody in the game, so they do get their stats and they do show up. Because again, if you give a guy 10 goals and you don't click on 1 minute of gameplay, he's not showing up. So things like that we need to do. So I'm Dave. Thanks. I'm going to play some shootout now before I go to work. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.